In this world with so many stories of insecurity, people tend to guard their most prized possessions the best way they can. It mustn't come as a shock to you that even some of the world's most famous people are guarded too, especially if they are the country's first citizens. Many world leaders controlling top economies, military power, and populations are constantly surrounded by top-notch security, and the state secret services are always looking for potential threats. However, when it comes to the most protected leaders in the world, the security detail becomes a bit excessive. Let's look at 6 of the most secured presidents in the world. Number 6. Mohammed bin Salman. You might be wondering why Mohammed bin Salman is starting this list, since he is only still an heir to the throne and not the president of Saudi. However, it is not without reason, because he is heir to one of the biggest exporters of oil in the world. Also, he has a net worth of over $13 billion. Mohammed bin Salman is one of the most influential people in the Arab world, as he represents the modernization of the Saudi state. The Saudi royal family knows too well about being secured, since they were linked to the gruesome murder of journalist Khashoggi. This is as good as any reason for anyone to try and target any Saudi royalty. And Mohammed is not just any royalty, he is the Ministry of Defense. To defend him from external threats, Salman combined the military power of the Saudi Arabian state with the knowledge of the state's secret agencies, radically modernizing the Saudi army. Because of this, Mohammed bin Salman's 1,000-person security detail comprises highly trained soldiers and a cybersecurity squad constantly scanning for real threats to the crown prince's safety. Mohammed bin Salman has invested a lot in modernizing Saudi Arabia's military equipment because he is responsible for the country's substantial military budget. He invested more than $20 billion in 2019 to equip the nation's army with the best weapons and artillery available. Even more so, since the Saudi prince began recruiting 1,800 new officers 2 years ago, his security detail has improved. Number 5. Queen Elizabeth. While time poses the greatest threat to the 95-year-old ruler of the United Kingdom, there are also many external threats. Being the queen of one of the most powerful countries in the world and being the head of one of the wealthiest families with a combined wealth of $80 billion will inevitably lead to her making some mighty enemies over the years, hence the need for security. The Queen's security squad is unquestionably among the best in the world, consisting of some of the best spies the world has to offer, along with highly trained soldiers. Rarely are the Queen's armed officers spotted. Queen's Guard refers to one unit of Her Majesty's army of bodyguards. They primarily operate behind the scenes and blend discreetly with the people to maintain the appearance that the Queen is ever close to her subjects. The phrase, "make way for the Queen's Guard," is frequently heard from them as they patrol the areas around palaces and Windsor Manors. Additionally, the police and the MI6 special services are always available to help the Queen and the royal family with their investigations into potential threats and to provide a fallback in case something goes wrong. Number 4. The Pope. You might be surprised to learn that the Pope is a little more than just the head of the Vatican. He is one of the most significant people on earth because he is the head of the Catholic Church. There have been numerous attempts on the Pope's life, despite the fact that he is typically regarded as the embodiment of peace. One might question why someone would be so driven to kill someone who actually addresses his followers from a balcony. Pope John Paul II was shot 4 times during one of these attempts in 1981, yet amazingly, he lived. Swiss army men between the ages of 19 and 30 make up this oldest regiment, which continues to exist today. Swiss guards make up the majority of the Pope's security staff, and they always wear ceremonial garb. Despite this, the Swiss Guard is one of the most vicious security organizations, and only fighting specialists can find a place there. Number 3. Kim Jong-un. If you ever had any doubts that this head of state would be on this list, you have obviously never heard of Kim Jong-un, the beloved leader of North Korea, who possesses the unique superpower of making himself a target. Kim is unquestionably the world's most ruthless authoritarian leader, having ordered the dismemberment of his uncle by ravenous wolves. To be very blunt, the world would undoubtedly become a better place if someone could flatten Kim's pulse line. Kim is well aware of this, so he's taken some reasonably strong steps to continue being a pain in everyone's butt. There are thousands of individuals on Kim's security detail, but the men usually jogging beside his car wherever he goes stand out. These men are expert martial artists who have committed to sacrificing themselves for Kim. One requirement to be given a chance to die for their dear leader is that none of the guards can be taller than Kim Jong-un, who is not at all tall. This requirement is in addition to the intensive background checks and advanced training the recruits must undergo. In case someone decides to shoot down the North Korean leader mid-flight and maybe start a world nuclear war in the process, the leader of North Korea also flies with 2 decoy jets. Kim reportedly has 90,000 soldiers at his disposal at all times, surpassing several contemporary countries' militaries. Number 2. Joe Biden. The fact that the President of the United States has the greatest death rate of any American employment does not bode well for the post. However, since President Kennedy was assassinated 50 years ago, the United States government has spent every penny to ensure the president's security is unsurpassed. With a budget of around $2.3 billion each year, over 700 employees, and a large, heavily armed police force that guards events and clears pathways for Joe Biden to enter events, the U.S. Secret Service is responsible for the president's protection. The United States president can feel safe knowing that the CIA is working behind the scenes to identify dangers before they have a chance to materialize. The president can also rely on an air force, one of the world's most secure aircraft, an armored limousine, and a highly guarded helicopter. Number 1. Vladimir Putin. Last on this list is Vladimir Putin, whose personal security team is genuinely famous. The former KGB agent invested substantially in improving the FSO, often known as Putin's private army, because he knows how simple it is to assassinate a head of state, which a capable security organization does not protect. The Russian president has a pretty impressive security detail, with over 3,000 personnel ready to rush in and thwart any attempt on his life while not hiding out in his Euro bunker. Putin, who is known for treating all of his security personnel exceptionally well by providing them with affluent properties and generally an excellent life, is said to have a lot of opponents. One of the most essential duties of Putin's security is to inspect and secure each hotel room and event the president will attend, and taste every meal he consumes while on a diplomatic visit. Putin's security team also has drones, armored cars, and even a psychological security team that can assess whether anyone in the audience is trying to harm the president. Last but not least, Putin has a private road leading directly from his house to the Kremlin, where the Russian government is housed, so it would be almost impossible for anyone to run into him by chance. This concludes the list of the most secured presidents on Earth. Which of them do you think has the most rigid security? Share your opinion in the comment section below, and don't forget to share with friends, like, and subscribe to the channel.